Hello, writers! It's Megan coming at you in All Writers Welcome. And today I want to talk about creating your author bio. And I'm going to use this term rather in an umbrella fashion to think about what you might put on your author website, but also what you will end up putting on Amazon, on Goodreads, on any place that your book is selling. So here's the big idea about your author bio. It's actually the first story of yours that readers get a chance to experience, which is kind of cool, I think. And a lot of authors are intimidated about writing the bio, especially authors who are just starting out. So in this video, I'm going to walk through why you don't have to be afraid of writing your author bio for any reason. I know some people fear it because of, being new. Like, what can I write about? I don't have a lot of books that I can list. I don't have, a best-selling status yet from any place. And some people are going, I don't have a background in writing. I didn't get my degree in that. Totally cool. You don't have to be afraid. And you also don't have to fear this from the point of view of it being your best writing ever. Okay, so let go of your fear. And let me come back to this idea of it's the first story of yours that readers get a chance to experience. It's a very short story, though, which is why you're not going to have to spend a lot of time on it. And it's the story of you. It's the story of why you write and why you are the perfect person to be telling the story or sharing the poem or even writing the blog post that somebody is reading, and they'll get drawn in by that story. So in order to create your story, you need, just as when you write a long book or a blog post, you need a hook. You have to have a way to draw readers in. And so this is a time where you can think about what's something fun or interesting or quirky about you, or what's a way you can immediately grab readers' attention. Then, to help us understand why you're writing and why we should be interested in what you're writing, you're going to give us a little bit of your journey. So let me spend some time on this, because this is the place where a lot of writers panic and they say, but my journey involves, having been a computer engineer or a teacher or a parent. I'm just coming into publishing. Maybe I've been writing a lot my whole life, but I haven't been writing professionally. That's totally okay. In fact, there's something really wonderful and relatable when people tell us that they've always loved writing, but it hasn't necessarily been in a professional sense. Being a published author is different from other jobs. In other jobs, the more experience you have, the more people are impressed. And when you're an author, oftentimes, the more you have continued to do it, even though life made you work for money in other ways, like the more people are impressed. For years I've been building bridges, but I always would come home at night and write stories. So your writing journey might begin, with the fact that you've been writing stories since the time you could hold a crayon, or that you used to tell stories around the campfire with your Cub Scout troop, and that's what inspired in you a love of writing. So great news, unlike a resume for a job, in your writing, in your author story, you can share things going as far back as you like. And that compels people to want to hear the rest of your story. How did you go from somebody who loved to write but had to build bridges or be a teacher or be a software engineer to somebody who's now writing books? And it's not the full story. It's just a little snippet that helps us relate to you and see how passionate you are about writing. So that's kind of a cool thing, that your background doesn't have to include a degree in writing or a lot of books that you've already written in order for us to be engaged by your story. The next thing you want to tell people is about your passion for writing, and hopefully your passion for the type of writing you're doing. If you write multiple genres, maybe you can find a way to group them in such a way that it feels coherent, right? Like after all of that experience building bridges, I love writing these future dystopian stories that examine how societies break down, after all this time making sure that society stays together and people have the roads they need to travel on. Like, I'm so intrigued by what happens if things fall apart. Hey, Carrie, great to see you. So that can be, why you're the perfect person to tell the story you're about to tell, or share the poem, or share the blog post, that you're giving us a sense of why you're passionate about this area. And that might be how you first came to enjoy it, or again, it might link back to, your day job or your previous career. All right. The final piece of your author story, of course, is going to be how people can hear more from you. And in the moment, that might mean buying the book, right? Maybe this is your author story and it's right next to your book on Amazon, and they're like, oh, buy, I want that right now. But you also want a way to have people be able to follow you. So this would be where you include your social media handles, your author website, and if there's a reason to get in touch with you, this is a great place to put it. So, hey, I hope you come say hello to me on my author website where I offer free cool stuff for subscribers. Or hey, I hope you come message me on my Facebook author page. I always respond personally. So you're giving a little bit of an incentive. And whether you're writing it in first person or you're writing in third person depends on a couple of things. Where you're putting it, if it's going to be on your website, or if it's going to be on Goodreads or Amazon, or if it's going out as a little blurb to a freebie list, where you can get free books. It's up to you largely, what you feel is the appropriate tone. Is this a place to be a little bit more intimate? Is this a place to be more formal? You can kind of feel that out. And what's nice is you can have a bunch of different versions of your bio to use in those different places so that you always have a go-to. But as soon as you know what genre you're writing in, as soon as you get that glimmer in your eye of I'm writing and I'm going to publish my book, I recommend sitting down and creating an author bio. It will just make it that much easier to put yourself out there, because you'll know if somebody says, well, hey, tell me more about you, you've got that little blurb, right? You have that ready to go. And it's one of the first things that you can put on your author website. So it's not a long story, but it is an important story, because really, nobody is searching for books to read based on the college degree of the author. People don't go onto Amazon and do a search for who graduated with a master's degree in creative writing. They just don't. They're looking for a good story. And once people have read your work, they'll come back based on your brand. Absolutely. Right? If they like what you're writing, if they like your style, if they like the way you tell stories, they will come back. So the very first thing you have to do to grab them is not impress the heck out of them by telling them all of the awards you've won. You could totally mention your awards. Absolutely. That's going to help people make the decision. But if you don't have the awards, if you don't have the books, if you don't have the degree, it's okay. Because no matter where you are on your writing journey, whether you're just beginning, whether you have a lot of books under your belt, whether you have a lot of practice or a little practice, or you're coming back after a long absence. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Shauna. Great to see you guys. You have a story, a little teeny mini story about why you're really passionate to write whatever it is that you're sharing, whatever this bio is appearing next to, whether that's a genre or a series or a particular book. You have a story about why you are the storyteller that people should follow. Oh, Carrie, your bio came out sounding like a book blurb. Say more. Did you like that? It's actually a similar recipe. A book blurb also starts out with a hook, and then it gives some more background in the middle, and it ends in a certain way. So Carrie, I'm curious, did you see that as a benefit? Did you like that it came out like a book blurb? I mean, it is. It's your author blurb. It's getting people hooked on you as an author or intrigued by you as an author in the same way that you want them to be intrigued by your book. So what I encourage you to do right now is two things. First, get on wherever you buy your books, whether that's Amazon or somewhere else, go to the genre that you love to read or that you write in, and just start reading author bios. Get some samples under your belt. See how other people are doing it. Okay. And look for those elements. Look for how is somebody engaging you in her story? How is somebody helping you get excited about her passion for writing? Okay, so that's assignment number 1. Go read some author bios. And assignment number 2 is go write your author bio. Take a stab at it. Give yourself the space to write a rough draft and see what you like about it and what you don't. If you have a writing critique group, share it with them. If you have other authors who are in your network, share it with them and see how you can improve it. But there's a mindset trick in this as well, which is that the more of the pieces you have in place that signal that you are an author, the more motivation you have for working on your book. And so especially if you are somebody who is just starting out with the idea of publishing, maybe you've been writing for a really long time, but maybe this is your first foray into publishing. This is a really powerful mindset tool to give yourself that message. I'm an author. I'm not just a writer. I am an author. All right, I wanted to respond to Carrie said that yes and no, it was kind of a good thing and kind of a bad thing that her author bio ended up sounding like a book blurb. Well, Carrie, since you are in the All Writers Welcome Academy, I'm going to invite you to share your author bio in our community. And when you share it, tell us what you're liking about it and tell us what's not your favorite. Say, you know, this part I love, I think it's great how I was able to do this, but I'm not as comfortable with that part. Do you guys have suggestions? I would love it if you did that. That'd be fantastic. And if anybody else is thinking, ooh, I wish I could have feedback on my author bio as well, that's a really important component of the All Writers Welcome Academy. Another important component is that when we work on author bios, there's actually a recipe. So I've talked through the steps, but there's a recipe to follow, and there are also some annotated examples. So I've given you guys the assignment of going and reading some author bios, but it's wonderful also to have a guide take you through and show you what's working and what job it's doing. So if you're thinking, oh, sounds nice to have a recipe, to have some feedback, then come check out the All Writers Welcome Academy. That's what we do, is walk through the process of creating everything from your author bio to your book blurb, to your book itself, to your marketing plan, including your author Facebook page and your author website. Walk you through those steps and then give you feedback on it. So if that sounds of interest to you, you can check out allwriterswelcome.com/academy and find out more. And I invite anybody who is watching to share their author bio in our Facebook group. If you come up with an author bio and you want to get some feedback on it, share it in the All Writers Welcome Facebook group, and be sure when you share to let us know whether you want feedback, and if so, what kind. Like, hey, I really like the first paragraph, but the second paragraph I'm not feeling so much. Or to just say, hey, I'm sharing, I'm happy with it, because we'll respect that and we won't give you feedback if you're not looking for it. So I guess that's a third assignment. Go read some bios, go write your bio, share your bio in the All Writers Welcome Facebook group. All right, have a wonderful rest of your writing day, and I will catch you all later. Bye-bye.